Hi, I'm Tim Colbago, CEO of ImageIQ, with some ideas about the best way to present your image analysis data from your clinical trial. So you've made the leap. You've actually engaged either a radiologist or a core lab to do some imaging analysis for you using some very advanced software techniques. We see that a lot. But now you've got a problem. You've got all this data and you need to figure out how to present it. So what we're going to cover in this episode are some things you can do to help improve the presentation of your quantitative image data. You know, it's kind of funny. When you're in the business of image analysis and imaging software like we are, you have the ability to make some very beautiful pictures. The visualization that comes out of this quantitative data can be very compelling, but unfortunately, that's not going to help get you through an FDA audit or an academic paper submission or give you all the insight you need as you make scientific assessments. You need to provide the associated data. And we're going to cover a few things that you can do. So, number one, remember, while a picture is worth 1,000 words, it's certainly not worth 1,000 rows of data. You need to make sure that you include in your presentation all of the data that you have. Whether you do a statistical measurement to collapse that data or actually include all the data, you'll need to decide that. But you need to include some reference to the raw numbers. It's very easy to get distracted by pretty pictures. So that's number one. Now second, it's very important that when you do present your data, you are clear about what is being shown. Make sure that when the picture is visualized, it's labeled. This kind of goes back to how we all got dinged in high school when we did our science project. You remember, right? You have labels and a scale on your bars on your picture. Are all your units correct or your grade got lower? Make sure that all the information is available in your picture. Make sure you explain also what the visualization is not including. It's quite challenging to show all of your data in just one picture. You're making decisions to show part of that data to make a point. Make sure the reader is able to clearly understand what you're not showing. Most especially if you're using color techniques or gradient techniques in the visualization, be extra careful to display what those values are so observers can draw the proper correlation. Now, the third thing you should consider when using analytic software is the type and level of validation that was done. Whether it was with a phantom or a control or a healthy volunteer or something like that, take the time to visualize and report data on those scans, because that will set a baseline for how the rest of your images will be interpreted. Here's normal. Make sure you show normal. Talk about the data values and the normal images versus your other imaging. This may seem fairly obvious, but we have seen so many times when you get into this advanced visualization situation, as I mentioned before, you get enamored with the pictures and you think the pictures tell the whole story. And they do, to you, because you understand the backing data. But the reader of your paper or your submission or your application or whatever, they're not going to know what that backing data is. And if you just go with the pictures, kind of asking for trouble. Now, another powerful presentation technique is to include pre- and post-processed images side by side to provide context and enable comparisons to be made by the average observer. This type of, before and after presentation style will add credibility to your technique and help you avoid people questioning sort of the magic of your analysis software. And then the last thing you can do when you're presenting your data is to enumerate all of the data that's actually available, even if it's not included in the full manuscript. So say, hey, we have data for this, and we have data for that, we have this many samples, this many points, and we've derived this information. Make sure you enumerate, provide that catalog for all of the data that's available so that the people understand the power of your conclusions. Well, hopefully this gives you a few ideas of what you can do when you see the beautiful pictures coming back from your analytics provider to make sure you take the data and present it in a way that's scientifically powerful.
If you'd like more information on imaging and clinical trials, visit ImageIQ's Imaging Analytics University, a resource center with white papers, webinars, research articles, and more.